evil. It's not just a word. It's not just a story told to scare children. Evil is cruelty. It's injustice. It's harm that leaves scars you can't forget. Real Talk with Nige, conveying authentic, unapologetic conversations, sharing deep, personal life experiences. The Bible warns us that our enemy, the devil, prowls around like a lion, seeking who he may devour. And I learned the truth of that verse as a child, the day my innocence was shattered, the day I first knew evil exists. Now, before I go deeper, I want to give a warning to my listeners. This episode contains discussion of childhood trauma. Please take care of yourself as you listen. And let me be clear, I am not a victim. I am a thriver. Through the pain, I strive to become better than what was done to me, better than the hard experiences and life struggles. My story is not about defeat. It's about resilience. But it wasn't until prison that I faced this demon head on. Behind those walls, stripped of freedom, surrounded by chaos in pursuit of survival, I had nowhere to run from the truth. I had to confront the evil that had marked me since childhood. Take a deep breath, settle in, and get your mind ready as I take you back to the day when I first knew evil exists.
What you call that? When she was little, she used to imaginary things. My baby, my firstborn. 1, 2, 3 years old, who had the brilliance and always shocked me when you might open your mouth and say something that somebody 6 or 7 years old would say. And I'd be like, wow, how she know this?
When you was a little over 1 after your birthday and you got out the stroller and started walking. That made me say she's not going to stay home. She just kept walking. You couldn't walk when we got there, but you walked when we left. You was close to me until your grandmother got home. If your grandmother was at work, you wanted to be more near your grandmother. You wasn't shy at all.
You was good with getting along with them. If they was younger than you, you was showing them the way. If they was older than you, was listening. Adorable, venturous, adorable, lovable baby. When you first started riding your bicycle, never forget it because I pushed you and you fell. And I helped you back on your bike, and ever since then you kept riding.
Sheep. I played a lot of sheep. Everybody should die before I wake. I played a lot before I cake. Amen.
Growing up, memories, they go up and down. As a child, I remember having great memories up until I started getting by a man that was a friend of my father's. Everything was good for me until this man came into our home. And I remember the night he came into our home. I remember being asleep. It was dark in the house. It's dark in the house. I'm sleeping, and I hear this loud banging on the door. Pow, pow, pow. Loud. Like, now, today, I would think, yo, the police is at the door type knock, you know? I'm laying in the bed. It's dark. Loud banging on the door. Scaring me. My dad comes walking through, and it's like I see his like dark silhouette shadow walking to the door, and he's like, who is it? And I hear somebody say something. All I know is my dad opened the door, and this man just fell into the house onto the floor. That was it. He fell into the house on the floor, and from that day forward, this man stayed in our house. I have to say, I honestly blocked his face out in a lot of stuff. I blocked a lot out. But I remember his name was Bruh. They was calling him Bruh. I remember my mom leaving one day, and she said, I'll be right back. And she left us with Bruh. And that was it. That was it. That was it. That day. From that day on, that man tortured me every chance he can get, okay? And I mean every chance he could get. He tortured me in my life, okay? I was a young girl. I think I was going to Homer Street School when I lived on Maynard Street this time. So I was a little girl, because when we moved from there, I went to Brookings for kindergarten. So I was a little girl. I just remember him. I remember him just touching on me. Just, it was so uncomfortable, and I was so scared. And I don't know what he was saying to me, but I know he was saying something to me to scare me, not to make me not say anything. And as a little kid, you don't really know the concept of time. But for me, this was going on for years. This was going on for years. We moved from this house to another house. This man was living in the house. He was doing whatever he can to me anytime he could. I never wanted to be left alone with this man, but I was left alone with this man a lot. I mean, a whole lot, okay? Man, listen. I remember the very last time it happened. At this time, the man babysitting us, but we were over my aunt and uncle house this night. It was different. It was more grown-ups there in the living room. I know they was drinking, and now I know they was smoking crack too, because that's when crack started coming around too. So they was drinking, they was smoking crack. My aunt and uncle kept going in the other room. I guess they was going in there to hit their bookie. I never seen them doing it, but this is what's happening in my mind today. This man grabbed me. There's other grown-ups in the living room while this is happening. My siblings are in the living room too. All of this stuff is happening. He grabs me, and I mean, he grabbed me so tight, like he was grabbing me and his arms locked. And he was putting his tongue in my mouth. Yo, other grown-ups are in the living room. I remember somebody saying, bruh, leave that girl alone or something. He was kissing in my mouth. His tongue was so disgusting. This man put his tongue in my mouth and was just doing whatever. He was out of control this time. He was doing it in front of people. I remember after this night being at my grandmother's house. Like, I felt so safe over here. I was always safe over there. I remember after this, sometime after this, it wasn't like right directly, it didn't just happen like the next week, but sometime after this, I'm with my mom watching some new show that came out. And it's talking about, is showing reenactments and stuff about kids being molested and touched and killed and stuff. And I'm sitting there, and all that's going through my mind is, I want to tell her, I want to tell her, I want to tell her, I want to tell her. Just tell her, just tell her, just tell her, just say it, just say it, just say it. This is what's happening to me. Like, oh, I feel it right now. This is what's happening to me. I want to tell her so bad, but I'm scared. I'm so scared to say something. But I'm just so on the verge of just blurting it out. Mommy, this man has been doing this to me, you know? So what happens is, I'm thinking this, oh my God, deep in my, I want to tell her. I'm so scared. I'm so scared. I'm so scared to tell her. A commercial comes on, and she says to me, if anything like this ever happens to you, you tell me. And I said, it already did. It already did. And she said, what? And I said, it already did. It already happened to me. She asked me what happened, and I told her what that man bro was doing to me.
I didn't really notice anything until me and the family talked to you about a movie we had seen. So then after that, that's when I noticed the changes, because when we told you that you can tell us anything and don't be afraid if somebody try to say this and try to say that to you to scare you, don't be afraid, and this and that. And that's when you came out and you took a deep breath, like it was a big relief to let it all out.
It really was.
Like you was holding it in.
I was.
And to take that deep breath and like you just told it all, and like you felt like whatever they scared you into, that you was afraid to tell us, that you was going to get in trouble for what they did.
My mom took me and walked me to the police station. She sat down with this female detective and told her everything I told her. The lady asked me questions. She asked me to tell her what happened. And while I'm talking, I'm a kid now, she asked me, where did he touch me at? I said, he touched my private part. And I pointed to it. And she told me, what do I call my private part? And I said, because I don't know. That's what I heard. And maybe that's what he was saying to me. I have no idea why I would say that part right there would be the reason why that man did not get charged. Well, the charge did not stick. Whatever, I remember having to go in a room, and now what I know, it was the grand jury.
Yeah, when they brought us to, I didn't recognize, when they took you in to talk to you, there was another mom out there that was down there for the same thing he did to her child. And we just got to talking, and she started it off, and then it wind up to where we was down there for the same pervert, the same predator.
They brought me in front of a grand jury. They put me on a stand. I was inside of this wooden thing. Somebody was talking. A man was walking and talking, and he was reading what I said. He was reading the report that I gave to the detective lady. And when he read the part that I'm a kid, yo. I'm still a child. I'm not even 10 years old, yo. I am a kid. And, this is happening. So he's reading the report that I gave to the lady. And when he says he touched I giggled. It was funny. I'm a kid. Because of that man was able to walk free of that charge. So after that, I gave the statement to the lady, the detective lady, whatever. My dad knew. I remember going home, My dad had a plunger in his hand, a toilet plunger. He was beating the guy with it, and he told me to come in the kitchen while the guy was there, and the guy was like, she lying, she lying, I ain't do nothing to her, she's lying, you lying, you lying. This is what the guy is saying. And my dad said, did he do this to you? Don't you lie to me, this and that and the third. And I said, yes, he did. Yes, he did that, because he did. He was doing it for so long. How did they not know?
I grew up with him. Didn't know he was like that. Didn't know he messed with my... What I saw in you was like, there's no trust around here. I saw it. And I'm trying to let you know that nothing like that will ever happen again. But how could you trust what happened?
It was a change, and to this day, I wish I had got you the help that you really needed for that.
At that time, yes. Change I saw in you. It wasn't a little girl that was happy and joyful anymore. It was a little girl that didn't have no trust in nobody at that time. That's what I saw. So I was still, in my own sense, upset. Because I saw the change. But I don't think your change was the worst change. I saw your change in the hurt. It was a hurt thing. So that's where my mind was. So my mind was different than any father of his daughter could ever imagine.
To feel for your child, at the same time not having the knowledge to give that child the medical or the counseling or the therapy that child needed.
How did they not know? That question stuck with me for years. For a long time, I blamed my parents for allowing it to happen. Carrying feelings no one even knew I had. I was feeling excluded, unloved, and unprotected. I thought my parents didn't even love me, y'all. I was timid, insecure, my self-esteem didn't exist. I was literally a girl lost. I felt unworthy and alone, y'all. Nobody protected me from the torture. My path to self-destruction began early, and I became a part of the system that failed me. I was a target for many. My low self-esteem and lack of confidence made me vulnerable. I accepted defeat early as hell, before I even understood what it meant to fight. I couldn't identify myself because I didn't know who I was. And because I wasn't protected, I became very defensive. But here's a paradox, because I also became a protector. No one protected me, so I carried a role for others. I learned to shield people from pain I couldn't escape myself. And that's what trauma does. It twists you and shapes you, forces you into roles you never asked for. My parents, though, I loved them with all my heart. And they were young, and they trusted this man. And they gave him a shelter in their home. They trusted him with their children. And I'm not making excuses for anyone, but I've come to realize that they were tricked too. Child predators have a way of disguising their true intentions and hiding behind masks. So when my father opened the door to someone he thought was safe, the reality was he opened the door to a devil. The one who came to steal, kill, and destroy. And that is exactly what he did. Over time, I would come to forgive this faceless predator. Not because it had anything to do with him, but because it had everything to do with me. And in order for me to be free of the weight, I had to release this man. I had to release him from my head. Because holding on to that anger and that pain and that hatred was only chaining me to the trauma. So forgiving him didn't mean forgetting. It didn't mean that I was excusing it. It meant I refused to let him hold power over me anymore. And when I finally forgave, it lifted a heavy weight off of me. It gave me space to breathe, to heal and thrive. My trauma stayed with me for a very long time. It shaped how I saw myself and how I trusted people and how I loved people. But here's the truth. What the enemy meant for evil, God turned for good. Because my pain became my purpose. My silence became my voice. And my brokenness became the foundation of my thriving. I'm going to say it one more time. What the enemy meant for evil, God turned for good. My trauma wasn't meant to destroy me. It became the very thing that built me. It gave me strength. It gave me a voice. And it made me a thriver. And this podcast, Real Talk with Nige, is me never holding myself back again. Thank you so much for joining my unapologetic story. If you enjoyed it, feel free to comment, subscribe, like, and share with friends and also to your favorite social media sites. You have been listening to Nige on Real Talk with Nige, where we tell real stories. We cannot make this shit up.